something. Yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something.
That's right. Let's go. Yeah, when you're feeling down and you're out, like you got nothing but doubt, you're alone in the crowd, just trying to figure it out. All that is cloud and this money got you feeling left out. Listen up to me now, every word that's out of my mouth. Wake up, it's me. You gonna follow your dreams, or are you just gonna be another cog in the scene? You feel the hope in this beat, yeah, the hope that you need to proceed and be exactly what you want it to be. I feel right and I'm proud, hype and I'm loud. I'ma shout all about how I feel in the now. Ain't nobody ever gonna try to change me till I'm dead, pushing up daisies. I'm alone in the crowd, I won't feel down. I got hope right now, and I know I'll be found. I don't really care just what all other haters gotta say. I know everything I do is gonna make them fade away.
And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something, yeah. Then all you really need is hope.
Let's go, yeah, it's what you need when you're down, need when you're out. It's what you need when you're sad and when you feel left out. You feel an energy drop and then creeps out, but with a little bit of hope you can figure it out. Keep your head high even when you're down inside. Through the pain you fight and through the painful nights you keep striving, keep trying, keep driving, rising, keep thriving, surviving. Nothing's in your way but yourself, don't need nobody's help. You can make it through this hell, take it one step at a time, one step as you climb. If you fail you'll be fine, get back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven, this life is a prison if you don't have vision. You're in it to win it, so get it, don't miss it. Your chances now, so be something somehow. Don't let yourself down. That's right. Sometimes all we really need is hope.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? How are you? How are you? Hi Annie Lou, hi Mama Bear, hi Roberta, hi Seal. Good to see you ladies. Good morning, BC. So guys, this trial has been going on the last couple of days. I've been trying to follow it off and on as much as I can. I would like to, at one point, probably this week, do like a speed watch through where we watch it at 1.5 speed, cut out all the breaks, and really watch the entire trial. Right now, Chris, the stepfather, is on trial for Madalina's disappearance, basically. And let me pull up the most recent articles about this. We are going to watch part of his testimony. He is one of the individuals who last seen Madalina. For those of you guys who do not know her case, she has been missing since November 21st of 2022. She was last seen getting off of her school bus and never returned to school after the holiday break. Her parents at that point never reported her missing. Some background information. I'll just read down through this actually so that I don't miss anything. But her parents never reported her missing. The school eventually went to her house and was like, listen, she is absent. We need to know where she is. Her mom went to the school and essentially told them that she did not know where Madalina was and that she was afraid to report her missing because she was scared of her husband. Essentially is what took place. And at that point she had been missing already for 2 weeks. They have been searching. They searched her house. They searched her areas that her stepfather had traveled. They searched areas that her mom had traveled throughout that time period. It's unclear at this point if something nefarious happened to Madalina, if Madalina's mother could have possibly hid her, or if Chris put her somewhere. There's really, this case is one of those situations where there is really no information as to where she went. This girl just disappeared. And so let me just read down through the background information before we jump into his testimony. And I also have the police interrogation video. Just depends on how quickly we watch through his testimony. Just the first part. We're not going to get to do both parts yet, just simply for lack of time. I just got off work, and so I figured I would come live for a little bit before we have our afternoon activities starting up. So, hi, Ocean Tide, how are you? Yeah, it's a very, very sad case. Oh no, jellyfish stings. Those are the worst. Okay, so it says Madalena was last seen getting off her school bus in Cornelius, North Carolina, in November of 2022. Chris pled not guilty for failing to report Madalena missing and has been out of jail since his release in August of 2023. He is the husband of Diana Cojocari, which is Madalena's mother, who was released from jail last week after pleading guilty to failing to report the girl's disappearance. So she's done. She's out of jail. Um, so it says this is the kind of like the timeline that they've made. This is her getting off the school bus, last leaving that school there, of her Bailey Middle School, just before 5 p.m. on video released by the FBI Charlottesville office. So, according to arrest records, the mother of missing 11-year-old Cornelius girl Madalina Cojocari, Diana, told police she last seen Madalina at noon this day, but later in the same arrest record, she changes it to saying that she had last seen her on November 23rd at 10 p.m. So, November 23rd, around 10 p.m., is when they said that Madalina went to sleep and that Chris and her fought that evening, and that was when Madalina was last seen. Chris claims that he drove that night to Michigan to pick up items. In those same records, he told police that he hadn't seen Madalina for a week prior to this. On this morning, Diana later tells police that she first noticed that was the day that she first noticed that her daughter was missing. It's kind of worded weird. On November 24th, Diana tells police that that's when Chris left for Michigan, not on November 23rd, which is what he stated. So a lot of he said, she said in this whole situation. November 26th, Chris says that he returned that evening and asked Diana where Madalina was, and Diana said she didn't know where she was. Chris told authorities that he told Diana he didn't know where Madalina was either. They both reportedly accused each other of it says hissing Madalina. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing like of the upper, accusing each other of making her be missing. I'm assuming. I don't know why they put hissing. Neither reports her missing at the time. Christopher tells authorities he asked Diana many times where Madalina was over the following weeks, but neither still knew where she was. So on December 1st is when Madalina's mom went to the mountains. The police released those flyers with this information and vehicle saying, please, if you have seen Diana, Madalina, or this vehicle up in that area of the mountains, to please reach out so that they can find out where they were and what they did. So they were looking for any time that they were in that area in Madison County in a Toyota Prius between November 22nd and December the 15th. So on December the 2nd, mom says she's with Madalina. In a text message, Diana was indicated that she was in the presence of Madalina. 2 days later, she traveled to the North Carolina mountains, claiming to be looking for her daughter. On December the 12th is when the school resource officer went to her home to see where she was because she had not been at school and no one had reportedly reported her missing at that point. December the 14th was the truancy meeting. That's whenever Diana went to the school, and Diana at that point, indicated that she was no longer around. So she went to the school, and the school resource officer, she told Diana told them that she had been missing since November 22nd at noon, which again, she changes till 10 p.m. later on. December 15th was the first time that Madalina's home was searched. They discovered that part of the kitchen was blocked off with plywood during that search. We also know that there was a fire outside of the home at some point. They also did find her backpack and some clothes were missing. And some of her favorite items, I believe, like her toy horses that she enjoyed, were also missing. And so that was part of the reason that some people think that, Diana told her to pack some things and that she simply put Madalina somewhere. I personally believe that there is a strong possibility that Madalina was hidden and that she can be found alive. I don't know what Diana's purpose for hiding her was, if it was because of things that Chris was involved in, or just out of her own craziness. I don't know. I do get concerned though now listening to his testimony, which is something that we're going to listen to, because he does describe that Diana was not okay. She was doing different types of ritualistic things, and we'll listen to the testimony. It's just that doesn't make you feel good, does not make him feel good. So it's not you, it's Arabella. Oh no, that's the worst. Tell her you have to pee on her. My catering wench. You would like to see the testimonies. Yeah. Let me pull this up. Where did I put it? Let me get back to it. Jellyfish are the absolute worst. Okay, so here is the first part of Chris on the stands. So you guys know closed captions are available, and so we will be able to pull those up if they're needed. If I need to volume boost, just let me know, but I want to listen to this and kind of see what you guys have to say. I am gonna, well, no, he does have an accent. I'll try it on 1.25, and if his accent's too much, let me know, and I can slow it back down.
You saw such testimony in this court, and true the truth, the whole truth, and what you said to God. Sure. Sir, would you please state your name?
Christopher James Palmiter.
It's been a difficult time out of prison.
Yes.
This is your opportunity to tell your story.
Microphone.
This is your opportunity to tell your story. Are you ready to tell these people what happened?
Yes, sir.
If you need to take breaks, take a pause, you just let me know. All right?
Yes.
All right. Just tell these people the truth. Did you harm Madalina Cojocari?
No.
Do you know where Madalina Cojocari is?
No.
Did you know that Madalina Cojocari was missing?
No.
Before you went to the school?
No.
So how old are you, sir?
He says he gave us true.
Is it okay if I call you Chris?
Yes.
All right, Chris, tell us a little about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Michigan, Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. And what did your parents do?
My dad was a design draftsman at General Motors, and my mother stayed home and took care of a lot of kids.
A lot of kids. How many kids is a lot of kids?
7 boys, 4 girls.
Wow. That's a lot. What was that like?
Well, as you know, always had younger ones below me, older ones above me, so I kind of hung both groups.
And are you close with your family?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
My last job was at General Dynamics in Huntsville, North Carolina.
And what do you do for General Dynamics?
I was a design draftsman, like my father. I did mechanical designs, drafted mechanical parts to specifications of the engineers.
Mr. Clerk, yeah, may I question? Mr. Clerk, I'm approaching with marks, with what's marked as Defense Exhibit C. Mr. Palmer, could you please take a look at that document? Is that the General Dynamics?
Yes,
Is that your employer?
yes.
Is that a record of your time in, time out hours for the period of November to December 2022?
Yes, it is.
Is that fair and accurate representation of your work times and relevant information regarding work?
Yes, it is.
Your investment is Defense Exhibit C.
Objection.
No objection.
So admitted.
So, how long have you worked for General Dynamics?
I worked 2.5 years contract, contracted to General Dynamics, and a few months I went direct from September timeframe to November.
And what location do you work at? Where is your office?
It's in Plainsville, North Carolina, on the other side of Greensboro.
It's on the other side of Greensboro. How long does it take you to drive to work?
Hour and a half.
Mr. Clerk, I'm handing what's remarked as Defendant's Exhibit R. Mr. Palmer, what is that document?
It's a Google map from my house to General Dynamics in Plainsville, North Carolina.
Would that does appear to be an accurate representation of the time way that you drive to work?
Yes,
Would it aid in assisting? Is it illustrative? Would it aid in assisting your testimony?
yes.
Mr. Clerk, I have the owl, please. Well, that, could you bring up the owl, please? And Your Honor, move to admit Defense Exhibit R.
Objection.
No.
So admitted.
Permission to publish.
You may.
Top left.
On the base.
There. Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, Chris. So that's the, this is the route that you typically take to work.
It's on 2 routes, so yes, I travel this way.
And what is your address?
1-8-3 Detroit Bay Drive, North Carolina.
Okay. And so when you drive to work, that's an hour and a half each way.
Yes.
Thank you. So can you tell us about what your typical work schedule is?
It's a 9-hour day. Eat in the morning till 5 or until I complete a 9-hour shift.
And what do you do for general dynamics?
I design mechanical components for their military contractor, so they do a lot of Navy work for undersea communications.
Do you have to have any type of special security clearance to do that?
Yes.
And so tell us about the building. Is there anything special about the building that you're in?
We're on I think it's the second floor, and the exterior of the building is a cinder block with glass windows. And our design room is inside of those cinder blocks, so there's additional walls indoors.
What, if any, security is there for electronic communications coming in that room?
Coming in or going up.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, if I'm getting phone calls, a lot of times the phone calls and emails, a lot of times the cinder block walls will, the communication will come in. And if I'm expecting a phone call or a email, I'll actually have to go outside and reload, remove my phone, and then look into email, or then I would be able to call. So it's a cumbersome task.
So, to put it in layman's terms, what's the reception like in that place?
It's not very good.
Are you able to get phone calls in there?
Phone calls is hit or miss. Sometimes it's don't.
What about text messages?
Text messages seem to come in okay.
And tell us about any hobbies you have.
Hobbies. I have a side business, laser engraving, so CO2 laser. Size of a really large printer, and I can cut and engrave projects that are 12 by 24 inches and up to 7 or 8 inches thick.
And what type of things do you make with that engraving?
I have a lot of military clients, people that are retired from the Marines, Army. I have some specific groups, Boy Scouts of America, that I work with, and a whole lot of, just regular customers that just contact me, real estate, contact me and have me create some designs for them.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd ask Peter. Okay now.
Here, Mr. Palmer, I am handing you what has been marked as Defense Exhibit W1 through 15. Please take a look at that one. Do you recognize what those are?
Yes.
What are those?
These are ingredients of American flag.
The whole reason is specific on that.
Right.
What are they in general?
Um,
Where do they come?
from my phone.
There's some pictures from your phone.
Yes.
There are two stipulations that there's to admit exhibits W1 through 15.
An objection,
Not this time.
so admitted.
Mr. Clerk, please. All right, Chris. So you said that you have a side business doing laser engraving, is that right?
Yes.
And is this representative of the type of projects that you would do with that machine?
Yes.
You'd make like boxes and engrave images on them. And what other types of things would you engrave images on?
Wood, glass, plastic, acrylic, stainless steel, carbon steel.
And what type of machine do you use to make these types of things? It looks pretty cool. What do you do?
It's a CO2 laser. Works with my computer. I just create the designs in the computer and send them to the laser trader.
Oh, let's take a little bit. Is this part of those apparatuses that you would use to make those kinds of things?
Yes, this is my laser trader machine.
Okay. And how much does one of those cost?
That one was about $8,000.
You have more than one?
I have one.
And how's your memory?
It's not great. I remember events, but times and dates seem to get twisted a little bit.
How do you, what if any steps do you take to try to remember things?
I use my phone
And what do you do on your phone?
to take pictures.
You take pictures of what?
Something I'm trying to remember, or I use notes, almost like a shopping list, or just take notes and things I'm trying to remember. I'll actually even put pictures in the notes.
And that helps you recall things?
Yes.
Mr. Clerk, if you would please. So you would take pictures of things to remember to do what? Can you explain?
If I'm going to the store, simply just buy, or if I'm in the store, I would take a picture of it to, like this, look it up. Possibly buy it on Amazon, like it's cheaper than it is in the store.
So even things like deodorant.
Yes.
So you took a picture of deodorant on December 5th?
Yes.
What is this?
This hair gel.
Hair gel. Okay. And you took a picture of hair gel also on December 5th?
Yes.
What is this item?
That's conditioner.
And you took a picture of conditioner
Yeah, it's hard to find in the store.
on December 1st?
Yes.
What is this?
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste. Is it good toothpaste?
Yeah, pretty good.
And you took a picture of this on December 5th?
Yes.
Sometimes the things that you try to remember are pretty mundane. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
What is this?
That is a battery.
What does the battery go to?
It looks like it's from Rush Rover, which
And
is on the right hand side of the picture.
okay, that's what that is on the right. And you took a picture of that on December 10th?
Yes.
Last one. We won't go through everything on the phone. What is this?
That is a fast water heater for coffee or tea. It was broken, so I was gonna try and find another one to replace.
And you took a picture of that on December 9th?
Yes.
Thank you. So let's talk about your relationship with Diana Cojocari. Is that going to be difficult for you?
We'll see.
If you get emotional, like I said, it's fine. Okay? Don't feel embarrassed. You'll be okay. So tell us about how you met Diana.
I met Diana on an online dating / writing site.
Can you tell us the name of that website?
Yeah, it was called Global Ladies.
Okay. And when did you do that?
I think it was in the 2008 timeframe.
And what did Diana represent herself to be?
A single woman born in 1979. She was a teacher, spoke, she graded herself on her English, said, speaking understands enough without an interpreter.
And did you communicate back and forth with her?
Yes, for probably a year, maybe two, before we actually met.
Okay, so when's the first time that you actually met?
Probably 2 years later.
And where did you meet? Let's put it that way.
First, we shared our regular emails, so we communicate back and forth. And we met in Chisinau, Moldova.
And the first time you met her, was she still single?
Yes.
Okay. And on that first encounter with her, how did that go?
We went well. We just went to dinners. She's a teacher, so she was kind of like my guide to seeing some parts and art and things of that nature.
Did you make any future plans with her that first time that you met her in Moldova?
I don't recall, but there was a promise ring, I think in a later trip there.
So tell us about the promise ring and the later trip. What about that?
Well, things were going well in the first trip, and we agreed that we wanted to see each other more. So I had planned a second trip, and through our letters, things were progressing nicely. So I planned that trip, and I took a promise ring with me, not to propose, but just to basically say, there's potential. future. And that's what the promise would represent.
Okay. And did everything go well from there, or were there any issues?
It did, but it did, by the time we decided we wanted to proceed with an engagement, there was a lengthy returning process to get her a K-1 visa so she could come here to the United States.
And now, when did she come to the United States?
She and Madalina at that time was maybe four. They came here in December of 2015.
Okay. Well, let's back that up because I feel like you skipped a step there because you went to go meet Diana in Moldova, right? Like around, I think you said around 2008 or so.
Yeah.
Okay. But you are not Madalina Cojocari's biological father.
No, there was a point in time where communication stopped after the first trip. There was a gap in our communication. After she just moved on or something like that, and later, I tried to reach out multiple times. I think she finally did reach out, responded back to me and told me that she had gotten pregnant with a local man, and he didn't want anything to do with her, so she contacted me just to say, I'm still out here, I don't know if you're still interested or not. And then she, with pictures, introduced me to pictures of her and Madalina together. When Madalina was 1 or 2 years old.
All right, so let me get that straight. So you met Diana online, and you talked with her for a few years through messaging,
Correct.
and then you traveled to Moldova,
Yes.
and then you gave her a promise ring.
Yes.
And after you had done that, she had a sexual relationship with another man.
No,
Well, that was before the promise ring. You went,
yeah, she had a relationship prior to the promise ring.
but it was after you had went to Moldova and met with her and made plans.
Yes.
Okay. So how did that make you feel when you were supposed to be making plans together and then she went and had a sexual relationship with another man?
At first, I just looked at it like that potential was not, that wasn't a potential anymore. But then she expressed interest, so we proceeded to communicate for a while.
And when she reached back out to you, she had Madalina was her daughter, right?
Yes.
And did she represent to you that she wanted to come to the United States?
I mean, that's really the whole idea of the dating site, is that we're looking to connect with somebody. So she understood, she told me she explained to her family, her father and mother, that that's what she wanted to do, and we supported her in that decision.
And how old did she tell you she was?
Well, her profile said she was born in 1979.
Okay. And then, so that she would have been, how old was she on the profile that you were giving? How old did she say she was?
It didn't give an age, it just gave her a birthday.
Just a birthday, okay. Okay. And when you came back to the United States, when did she come back to the United States to be with you?
And the end of 2015 in December, middle of December 17th or something like that, close to Christmas.
Okay. And did you end up getting married?
Yes.
And in the process, tell us about the process of getting married. What do you got to do to get married?
She, with the attorney that we had, to get her over here with a K-1 visa, you have 90 days to get married or she has to return to her home country. So we got married in January, I believe it was January 9th of 2016.
And in order to do that, did you have to apply for a marriage license?
Yes.
Okay. What did you learn about Diana Cojocari when you went to get the marriage license?
I found out that she was actually born in 1985.
Okay. So she had lied to you about how old she was.
Yes.
And you ended up, you still got married?
Then I would object just to the basis of knowledge as far as coming in for the truth of the matter.
So, tell us about Diana's personality.
Even when we met in Moldova, she's very spiritual. That's why age did not, she said age did not matter to her.
For your ears. I'm going to speak. So they were both arrested, mom and stepdad, whenever Madalina went missing for failure to report her missing. Mom pled guilty last week to the charges, whereas Chris has been fighting it this entire time. Mom pled guilty and got time served and was let out of jail. He has been out of jail since August because he's been fighting the charges. And so now this is his trial, where they are going to find out if they're going to find him guilty or not. The reason we're watching this, and I know it's been kind of a little bit dry up until this point because it's the cursory stuff, before he gets into the meat and potatoes. He is going to describe his relationships with Madalina's mom and how Madalina is. I have to answer this.
Her parents didn't seem to have a problem with it because that was her decision. I noticed a little bit of spirituality when I was over there in Moldova, but it seemed to be progressively increasing as time went on.
Yeah, we'll cover that.
Okay.
When you first met her in Moldova, can you describe the spirituality that you're talking about?
We were actually at a little cafe, and she told me that she had a message from, I guess she speaks with angels, and they told her that she would meet somebody from America. I don't know if they said a name, but and that was her this download that the guy from America is the one you're to be with.
What, if anything, did you notice about her religious practices when you first met her?
When I first met her, they're Russian Orthodox. She and her family would go to the Russian Orthodox Church, which she pointed out to me when I visited her. But then she started studying other religions and was interested in the dynamics of other religions. Not that one religion was the only thing.
Did anything strike you as off about her when you met her in Moldova?
In Moldova? No.
And so,
Other than when she told me that she was informed by whoever she communicates with spiritually that the one from America would be the one that she would choose.
and she told you that she got that message from angels.
I don't remember exactly how she said it, but later on I figured that's how it came about.
Okay. So, from what you're saying, is that you kind of dismissed that as just being religious, or?
Yeah, I did. She told me she was in a prayer group there in Moldova. They prayed a lot together, went to church together, altar room together, cooked food, had, little social get-togethers.
And what was your relationship like with Diana when she first came in 2017? What was it like?
It was really good. Madalina, I don't think spoke much English. She understood Diana in Romanian. So Diana would spend the nights with Madalina to comfort her, so she's comfortable in a new country.
That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
protective.
Mhm.
You didn't think anything was unusual about that.
No.
And at that point in time, how was she with Madalina?
Very good. Yeah, she's a very protective mother.
And then as time went on, let's just say from 2017 to 2020,
Mhm.
what was your relationship like with Diana from 2017 to 2020?
Our relationship with Diana, it was, I really didn't know what to expect. It's my first marriage. The couple dynamic, and then one with a little girl was all we knew.
Well, and that brings me to something I forgot to ask you about. So you never been married before?
No,
Okay. So how old were you when you married Diana?
not sure about that. I might have been 57 or 58.
And had you ever had, when was your first girlfriend? Answer that.
Early.
When was your first girlfriend?
When I was in college.
And what about after that? Did you have any relationships?
Never nothing serious. There's a girl in the apartment building that had a liking towards me, so but that was kind of like a summer thing.
And when was that?
In the probably early 90s.
And then from then, other than that summer fling, did you have any serious relationship before you met Diana Cojocari?
Not serious. I had one date with a girl in college, and then we lost contact.
And you had no other children?
No.
And so going back to Diana's personality, between 2017, 2020, 2021, what, if anything, did you notice about her as a mother during that time?
For his mother, she was very protective and attentive to Madalina. She prayed a lot, so during those times I guess maybe wasn't as attentive to Madalina because she's praying, but Madalina was included in some of the prayers, so I guess you could say she was attentive to her then as well.
Tell us about the prayers that she was doing.
Well, she was listening to an older, she's probably from the 70s, woman that they created a church in, I think, Utah or somewhere like that. And Diana would follow her teachings and her prayers.
And what was this person's name?
Her name was Elizabeth Clare Kraut.
And in following those teachings, what, if anything, unusual did you notice between 2017 and 2021?
There was a lot of, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like chanting. When they pray, they pray really fast. And the faster you pray, the more times you get a prayer in, the more extra credit you get.
Okay. And what'd you think about that?
I thought it was strange. She actually involved myself and Madalina in those prayers. We'd actually, we didn't have a TV, but she would find YouTube videos of Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and we would say the prayers, the chants, the meditations.
All this time, well, let's separate that. At that point in time, did you sleep? At what point in time did you sleep in the same room at the time?
We slept in the same room maybe a year, but again, I snore, and I have early working hours. She either she wanted me to be fresh for work, or she didn't like the snoring, so she actually moved. She slept on the additional bed that Madalina had under her bed. There's a trundle, I think it's called.
So you both stopped sleeping in the same room around what time? You got married in 2017.
Yeah,
When did you stop sleeping in the same room?
maybe 2018.
And during this time frame, what was your romantic relationship like with Diana?
Our romantic relationship was mostly spiritual.
Okay.
We were never romantic, peck on the cheek or kiss on the lips maybe on birthday.
Okay. On her birthday.
What's that?
She would give you a peck on the cheek on a birthday?
Maybe, I mean, I think I would kiss her on the lips on birthday.
Okay.
Or for Christmas, thank you for the gift kind of thing.
Okay. What about other times?
It was usually, well, when I would go to bed, I would just say goodnight to her. She would turn her cheek, kiss her on the cheek.
Were you ever physically intimate with Diana Cojocari?
No,
Never.
never.
So from the time you got married, you needed me, so.
Never.
And
Could you imagine? He married her from overseas, like thought they were gonna have a normal relationship, and then never intimate since 2005. That's a long time. I mean, she finally came, no, sorry, 2008 is when they met, but she moved to the US in 2015. And all the way from 2015 until 2022, that's 7 years of living together and getting a kiss on the lips on the birthday and a peck on the cheek, but never physically intimate. That is wow. Sorry. I didn't mean to like interrupt my sentence earlier. Junior has her procedure on Monday. And so, prayers for that whole situation. She's going back in for another one of her procedures, and it's always super stressful, but so I had to answer for children's because they were calling. So, but that's a long time to be together and never have any type of physical intimacy.
was there any domestic violence at that?
No.
So would you describe your relationship with her as more of a companionship?
Yeah, companionship. I was trying to learn the spiritual end of it so we could communicate better.
When you say communicate better, can you expound on that for us?
She was so into her praying meditation that I felt that if I learned the meditations or the spiritual end of it, we would have a more even-keeled relationship because that would be something that we'd have in common. She was pretty advanced. I tried to learn it, but she always told me that this is something you have to learn on your own.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned earlier that she was teaching Madalina this spiritual practice. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, she would turn on these, get the computer and put on Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and Madalina would say the meditations, prayers, chants, whatever, and they got progressively faster. Some of them were quite advanced. Donnie was pretty fast with it, but sometimes I think Madalina was faster. It's almost like a competition with her.
Did Diana work here?
That's really, she talked about getting a job. She wanted to create a YouTube business. Actually, she wanted Madalina to create a YouTube business as well. Madalina liked these little girl videos where they unbox dolls and horses and stuff. And Madalina watched it so much, she She knew exactly what to say and how to do it, and I thought that she'd be really good at it.
So to summarize what you just said, Diana didn't have a job anymore.
That's right.
Okay. So Diana, would she be at home
Yes,
during the day?
yes.
Okay. So what type of work were you doing from 2017 to 2020?
Yeah, I was working at Ingersoll-Rand, a tool company in Davidson, North Carolina, designing fluid mills.
And how many hours a week did you normally work at that job?
It was a 40-hour week. There was 12 minutes of work.
So a lot closer.
Yes.
Who was responsible for caring for Maddie? Can we call her Maddie? Is that okay?
Yeah, that we call her Maddie. Maddie actually liked her full name, Madalina. She actually corrected some kids at school.
Right.
One time someone called her Madalina, and she got a little upset.
So who was responsible for her day-to-day care? Can you tell us like how the household works? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I go to work, Diana, would make sure that, Madeline got up in time for school. She was trying to get Madeline to pack her own lunch. She, made sure that Madeline took a bath, before she went to bed at night. She was 100% in charge of Madeline's education, development, the whole thing.
And going back, just talking about that time frame, how would you describe your family life from 2017 to 2021?
I mean, it was, a lot of my attention was on Madalina. Her mother seemed to be doing her prayers a lot, and Madalina would always ask me to play with her. I never turned her down. She'll take her bike rides, walks in the neighborhood, take her to the park. And Donna was usually the one that had me take her to the park. I played all kinds of games with her.
How old was she when you were doing those things with her?
Or exactly, but she's like 8 to 11. At that grade.
Up into, what about, well, we'll cross that. Now, coming up to 2020, 2022, what type of things was Diana doing in 2022 in terms of spiritual activities?
She was doing a lot, even in the nighttime when I was sleeping. She'd either be in her room or downstairs, where she has her prayers, her meditations got really loud. I think she felt the louder she sat down, the more, I'm just gonna say credit she got. There were times it was really hard for me to sleep because there was a lot.
Okay.
But a lot of times they went well into the night.
Okay. So, how loud were these chantings and prayers?
With my door closed, it sounded like she was almost screaming at the top of her lungs.
And now she didn't do that for when she came to 2017, did she?
No.
Okay. But in 2022, that behavior kind of started or escalated?
It gradually escalated over time between 2017 and 2022. It gradually escalated at intervals.
And as part of her spiritual beliefs, what other types of things did she do other than chanting?
There were certain rituals that she would do. She always said she was fighting demons, and and I know this, the example is from Elizabeth Clare Prophet, because I watched it. They would take a sharp knife and they would cut the imaginary strings that demons had around you. One time I sat in a chair while she took the knife under me, above me, inside, cutting the strings. And then she'd also say some meditations or some chants when she was doing it. And then Madalina's turn in the chair, she did the same thing. She was clearing the demons or whatever you want to call it.
And what about burning things? Did you ever burn things?
Yes.
Can you describe that for us?
We had a fire pit in the upper area of our yard, was built, and I built a fire pit back there for burning, like, some woods and sticks and stuff like that. We actually roasted marshmallows back there. But over time, the burning got, she would burn like cat boxes up there and other things. But it progressed to be things that are even burnable, like stainless steel travel mugs and little racks for holding papers that are made of metal. A coat rack is made of metal. I went out there the next day to look what was in it, and all the things that were in the fire pit, they don't even, she must have put wood in there to burn with it, because they're not burnable. Other things, she was burning papers. Her writings, she had notebooks that she wrote in, she burned those. But she usually burned those in like a aluminum pot, like the one that you would cook a turkey in. She would just put some lighter fluid in the pot and burn papers that she was writing.
Okay, so for how many years was she burning things in the house?
I just noticed, like, in 2022, maybe a little bit earlier, I recall, the burning things that, makes you raise your eyebrow. But, I mean, we typically burn things, of all the stuff that I create with wood, I have scrap wood, and we would just burn stuff in the fire pit and just kind of tend fire. But then over time, the burnings got to be things that made me raise my eyebrows. So that was later in 2022.
Okay. Tell us about the prayer activities. What would she have you do as part of these prayer activities?
She would have like a group or family meeting slash prayer session, and she would generally lead it. And she would look up on YouTube prayers. They were generally from the Elizabeth Clare Prophet series. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of them.
And before we go too far forward into 2022, you know what I mean? Approach what you. Mr. Clerk, I'm handing Mr. Palmiter listed marks, the things to do. Lead 1 through lead 14. Mr. Palmiter, if you could please take a look at that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Are those photos from your cell phone?
Yes.
Recognize it.
Yes.
Our defense is supposed to admit, defendant exhibit B1, B14.
Objection.
Okay.
So admitted.
Permission to publish.
Right. How many pictures are you gonna do?
Well, they're 14. We want to break for today.
Is this an okay stopping point?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do that. So a few minutes till 5, but, sir, please step down.
Yeah, Chris, come on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recess with the easiest time we continue the hearing in the morning at 9:30. Let's continue to remind you for time, but not all of the evidence in this matter. In particular, you have a unit of the law, that's the lens which gives you that evidence. Keep it in mind. Do not discuss this with each other, nor allow anyone else to discuss it with you.
Okay. And so, yeah, it makes you worry about cult things and illegal substances leading to manipulation. For me, I have wonder, like, did she take Madalina to the mountains to do some type of ritual? I know we've talked about the uncle or whatever that she supposedly met up with. But yeah, Mama Bear, they were never intimate, more than a kiss on the lips on the birthday. That's it. Never. This is some cultish, Daybellish, not good stuff going on. And I know that a lot of us have side-eyed Chris since the beginning, just because he looks like a creeper. I mean, he looks like he would be involved in some stuff. But after hearing his testimony and some of the other stuff that has come out during this case, I don't know. Like, where and why did she disappear Madalina? What was the purpose? Yeah, a third party that she was worried about. You think she wanted to get Madalina back to Moldova? Maybe. Maybe. Like, I still think that there's a very good chance that Madalina is okay, but whoever she was scared of, I don't think it was Chris. This guy sounds like he was trying to do absolutely any and everything to try to get her to be intimate with him, to try to get the relationship that he thought he was purchasing whenever he got this mail order type bride. I mean, I don't know. He just seems like he wanted companionship. Yeah, she contacted her mom a week before. She had talked to her family. I don't know. I really think that there's more to this than just her being gone. Hold on. Let me pull up Diana's stuff. So here is a article from yesterday.
Wanted more clarity when it comes to Diana Cojocari's possible extradition back to her home country of Moldova. That's in Eastern Europe. And some have asked, if she's deported and something else happens in the case, does Moldova then have to send her back to the States? The Republic of Moldova is not on a list of countries that have an extradition treaty with the United States.
Just don't know if Moldova would care and who gets involved on the state or federal level to make that happen.
Now, according to Moldova's national procedures for extradition, they shall not extradite its own citizens or persons granted the right to asylum. That's how it's stated. So in short, no, the country is not required to send Diana back to the United States. Our team will continue to cover Palmiter's trial as it continues.
So if she gets sent out, she's just gone. She may have disappeared her, but why didn't he question Madalina's disappearance? I think we just heard why he didn't. He was not anything other than their roommate. He had there was no stepfather about him other than his title. It sounds like Diana was completely in control of everything that was going on inside of that home. You guys still think that there's more to him. I know. But it sounds like to me that she just steamrolled him and he just went with everything because then he had his little wife or whatever. Yeah, he was out of town for parts of it. She was seen in the mountains with her mom after he had already left home and after she was already supposed to be disappearing. Keep that in mind. December 2nd, they were seen in the mountains together. And police are looking for that information. Let me see if I can find the actual video. So keep in mind, like, as much as we want to hate him, because we always tend to want to hate the guy. We always want to tend to blame the guys for just about everything. But sometimes it really is the woman. Like, it's just insane, right? Go figure, a crazy woman, right? Impossible.
Yes, girl, Madalina Cojocari disappearance until more than 2 weeks after Madalina was last seen in public. And now more than a year later, there is still no sign of this girl. Thank you for being with us for the News at 5. I'm Vanessa Rufus.
I'm Colin Mayfield. It has been 546 days since Madalina Cojocari was last seen getting off this school bus on November 21st, 2022. It wasn't until nearly 3 weeks later that Diana Cojocari and Madalina's stepfather, Christopher Palmiter, reported her missing.
The police arrested them 2 days later for not reporting that disappearance sooner. And after a series of court appearances, Diana Cojocari was last expected to show up in court in February, but we told you then that she didn't appear. And that leads us to the developments we just mentioned today.
Yeah, Jesse Pierre is on the story tonight with what happens next here. Jesse.
Yes, well, Colin, Vanessa, Diana Cojocari could be released from jail as of today. She went into court today and changed her plea from not guilty to guilty. Now, she was facing a felony charge for failing to report her daughter's disappearance in a timely manner to police. Now, Diana has already reached her max serving jail time, so she can again be released at any time. Now, meanwhile, Madalina's stepfather, Christopher Palmiter, was expected to be in court today for the first day of his trial. However, his trial was postponed. Palmiter's attorney says they need more time to go over newly submitted evidence by the state. Court records note that Diana had been in contact with another family member. Some of those records also show that Diana says she was in danger and that she and Madalina needed to get away to a safe place or flee the country. Records show that Diana said she had enough funds to live for 2 to 3 months and had been sending large sums of money out of the country. Court records also note several items were seized by search warrants, and those were not provided to the defense. This includes results of search and examinations of Diana and Palmiter's cars and GPS data, both of their phone records and calls in jail, just to name a few. The defense says it needs to get those evidence. It needs to get the time to process all of this evidence as well. Now, both parents maintain they do not know where Madalina is. Palmiter was released from jail last August with an ankle monitor after his bond was lowered to $25,000.
I know he did a good amount of time in jail prior to being released. So if he was to get the max sentence, if he found guilty, judge gave him the max, whatever time he gets, whatever he's already done will be subtracted from that.
Now, it's important to note that Diana is not an American citizen. So after now pleading guilty to this felony charge, she is facing deportation as well. Live in Uptown, Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
An interesting set of events.
So I think the most interesting thing about this is she wasn't working, so where was she getting large sums of money? We know that the drug task force at some point was involved in this. Was she potentially selling drugs, moving drugs? Was he doing that? We don't know. That's all just speculation there in my thought process. But so she comes here, she uses this poor schmuck to live with him, to have him be her ticket into this country to do what for several years. And then she decides, hey, I'm done. I want to go back home to Moldova. She's been sending large sums of money out of the country for a long period of time. Doesn't want to get a divorce because she wants to be able to come and go as she can or as she pleases, right? She just wants to be able to come and go from the United States to Moldova, maybe. Or what's the reasoning behind not just getting a divorce and maybe sending her daughter off somewhere secretively? I guess that's the part that gets me because, if there wasn't some type of threatening force behind Chris, or some type of scariness there, why wouldn't she just leave? She's walked all over him for the last 7, 8, 9 years. Why wouldn't she just leave? Her own mother thinks she was trafficking her. See, that's bad. That's horrible. I don't know though. So I mean, we're stuck in this situation and now she gets to do what? She gets to just go home. She gets to just get sent back to Moldova. No one still doesn't know where Madalina is unless she sent Madalina home in advance. And she has large sums of money now that she'll have access to back wherever they send her, right? I don't know. This whole thing just sucks. I wish that we had some type of indication as to where Madalina was. I don't understand how so many of these kids just literally vanish. Just literally vanish with no evidence whatsoever. It breaks my freaking heart. So, but I don't know if you guys are interested. We can watch more of this trial. That was just part one of his testimony. He's on the stand again today. We can take a look at the opening statements. We can take a look at some of the other testimonies if you guys want. Whichever. Let's see. This is a clip from today. Hold on. Let me see this one. He says that she was always worried that the Russian entities were watching, it says. So let's see. This is from today. He's on the stand again right now.
President Vladimir Putin and the late singer Michael Jackson were watching her and Madalina. Palmiter said it made no sense, but he agreed to help hide Diana and Madalina somewhere disconnected from their family name. They chose Michigan with Palmiter's brother and his wife, but Diana felt that one of the family members was recording her when she went to visit the state, so the entire plan fell through.
We were going to have a serious conversation outside, and I just get to have my phone inside the house with number Gary. And she told me that she believes Russian entities were following her to get her, and such a memory. She believed that she held titles of either land or importance in that area, and the Russian entities wanted access to that.
The prosecution ended its case yesterday with an FBI phone analyst taking the stand. He testified about texts, emails, and phone calls found on Palmiter's phone, which indicated that he knew Madalina wasn't showing up to school, and also searches from his phone about truancy laws days before Diana reported Madalina missing, 23 days after she was last seen in public.
So I don't know. There's just a lot to this because could she have really genuinely had issues with Russians? Could she have really truly just had issues with Russians or something along those lines? Could something like that have been going on that was more not as nefarious as what we're thinking? I don't know. Or could it have done something to do with the large sums of money? Did somebody take her child, or did she hide her child from whoever was giving her the large sums of money that she was sending out of the country? I don't know. There's a lot to this one, but it's definitely something that I've been trying to follow in my time. We've been crazy busy, but I'd love to watch it with you guys. If you guys want to watch it, we can watch the whole trial together. Like I said, we can cut out the breaks. We'll be behind now. They're on like day 5, so we'd be behind watching it, but it's definitely something that I would love to skim through with you guys if you'd like. So let me know, and if you watch on the replay, let me know down in the comments. We certainly could do that. So yeah, she could have been being watched by the Russians. Definitely stranger things have happened. Absolutely. Madalina, though, is one of the kids that are missing that I genuinely, honest to goodness, think has a very high probability of being found alive someday, or is alive. Will we ever find her, quote unquote, if she's in Moldova or in a foreign country? If mom sent her away somewhere, will we ever find her? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. We still haven't seen who the biodad is. Somebody in Moldova. I mean, somebody not here. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to jump off here and I will talk to you all later. Thanks for stopping in, hanging out for a bit. Summer's going to be hit and miss, guys, so I do apologize for that, but love you guys and I will talk to you all later. Bye.